Now, the last time the Prime Minister addressed the nation during his COVID briefing, Tobago was pushing nearly a month without a new case. And to no one's surprise, we have the scene.
Individuals who are ill and either asymptomatic or ill and suppressing their symptoms, then moving between the islands. We went from a state where there weren't any cases in Tobago to a state where there have been a couple clusters related to travel from Trinidad to Tobago.
I know, it wasn't all just Trinis going across and making a mess. Tobagonians did a good job of messing up themselves too.
A video which has gone viral has caused the THA Chief Secretary, Ansel Dennis, to launch an investigation into an event at the Division of Finance. The team-building activity, which formed part of the division's Finance Week, saw employees at various tables, some wearing and not wearing masks, and limited social distancing.
Nobody in Tobago, in that department, to say, stop, this is not good.
And not to be outdone, Trinidadians, they do anything too.
Last night, where I live, there was a Zessa party.
Morning every weekend on Mayfield Road, Valsay North. It's more zessing for partygoers and more stressing for residents. In this video, partygoers are seen urinating in the open green spaces after a night of drinking. Residents say the party usually kicks off around 11 at night and goes until 6 in the morning.
But look, even though our numbers are getting better, it's kind of like when the police commissioner comes and says, hey, crime is down, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything just goes to hell. Look, just don't move. Bad news can't see us if we don't move. Speaking of bad news, children. That came out wrong. Or did it? Children are being infected and hospitalized because of this thing.
And in the pediatric population, now causing in-hospital stay, which is relatively new for us. How can we avoid this? It's simple. The way to avoid your child from getting missy is to avoid your child from getting COVID.
And that is nothing to play with. They are becoming the super spreaders of this thing, and it's why there is more virtual schooling, at least for January.
Schools will open virtually. That's home-based schooling. Will reopen on January 4th. So technically speaking, as of January 4th, schools are open.
But here's the catch. If we are good, they can go to school to take exams.
Students include those who need to sit the CSEC exams. They will return between the period January 17th and February 4th. Dr. Rowley said once numbers stabilize, other categories of students will return to school in February.
105 across the country, with their teachers and principals and those who look after them, and forms 4 to 6 across the country.
Now, if you ask me, that's an excuse not to get better over Christmas vacation, but, Speaking of Christmas coming up, you have more time now to putting off your grocery shopping. 24-hour groceries. You'd think that having more opening hours in the day would mean fewer people in the groceries. Oh, no. You just wait for it. Everybody is going to go between 10 and midnight just because they want to feel like they are liming again. Meanwhile, our borders remain closed. But to those who were stuck when all of the borders were closed in March, supposedly, most of them are home now.
We are relatively comfortable that the vast majority, if not all, almost all the persons who had just left here to go outside and discover that the borders closed while they wanted to come back home in some kind of time frame that was not a broad time frame, that those persons have been repatriated.
And I should let you know as an update, one of those stranded people we reached out to in our Open the Border segment a couple of weeks back, well, she says she's back home, and that's great news. But the other person we reached out to is still outside. So come on, let's get it done. Everything that we do as a country hinges on how we handle Christmas, how we move, how we behave. We already did well for Diwali, so it also now comes down to if we wear our masks. All All right, Trinidad and Tobago, stay safe. We are getting there. Let's take a break.